But if you're not in control of your lead flow, then someone else is. And as long as someone else is, it's going to cost you more in what you get those leads. When you think about the 30, 35, 40% even that you pay for the referral fee, it's a high cost. But another cost that people don't think about is the inconsistency of their lead flow.
What if the person who's in charge of the lead flow decides to send it to somebody else? That's what's going on with Zillow right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Level Up Podcast with myself, Greg Harrelson. This is where I focus on taking you from agent to entrepreneur. As you know, I have a passion for developing agents. And on today's episode, I'm going to share another quick strategy on how you can increase your production. I'm going to be real, so you be ready. Let's level up.
Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here, coming at you live again on YouTube. And then for some of you, you might be listening on the Level Up podcast, but this is where Abe Safa and I come together each week and just give you another real estate tip, share some information. And we're going to talk about taking more listings. But who would like to get some listings and not have to pay referral fees? Because there's so many darn referral fees that are being paid this time of year in our industry. So it's all about taking listings and not having to pay referral fees. Abe, before we jump in, thanks for being here again, man.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure to do this. Yeah, man. Referral fees, they just keep growing. Not only more companies are doing it, but the referral fee itself keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I don't know what year it was. I know it was over 5 years, now. I remember telling somebody that I believe that 80% of listings taken will end up being associated with some sort of referral fee in the future. I don't know that it's 80% now. I wouldn't say that it's that high, but it is a growing number. And people who are thinking that they do a good job nurturing their centers of influence or their sphere database, and they'll always be able to get business out of that. It's not correct. It's not happening. More and more often we'll call a sphere database and find out these people are already sold and they chose another agent. How did they choose them? I don't know, but some got captured on some website and another agent called them, took the listing. So it's happening all the time. So let's dive into it though. So how do you get listings without referral fees, Abe? What's some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the key thing is you've got to get in a mindset and build your business around you being the source of lead generating, right? So just like these companies out there that are sending these referrals, they're building these massive database of people. And all I do is just keep recycling them. So you have to get into your business and know that, look, if I want to be successful, if I want to build a listing-based business that's going to last, okay, I have to be able to build a database of people over time. Mm-hmm. So the way to do that is you've got to be the one that shows up every single day and lead generates. You know, you and I are going to talk about that till we're blue in the face.
Yes, that's right.
But if you're not in control of your lead flow, then someone else is. And as long as someone else is, it's going to cost you more in what you get those leads. So I think it's first wrapping your head around like, look, I've got to, if I'm going to be successful in this business, I have to be the source of my leads. So it starts there.
Yeah, and as you said it, I think you and I have talked about this before, but it just kind of came to my mind. It's like, if you're going to rely on a source that's going to refer business to you, the referral fee, which a lot of people can't stand, the referral fee is the amount of money you have to exchange to delegate lead generation, right? That's all it is. So there's nothing wrong with a referral fee as long as you understand you're trading that money to outsource delegation. That's what a referral is basically outsourcing or delegating lead generation. And in return, the cost of that, instead of an hourly rate, the cost of that is a referral fee. That's what it is. So yes, you have to lead generate. So I know like the popular lead generating strategies, right? Popular, I should say, the most well-known, maybe they're not all done consistently, but they're obvious, well-known ways to generate. And we're going to kind of go through those really quickly. What are those? Expires, old expires, FSBOs.
Yeah.
What else?
Furbows.
Yeah. For rent by owners, just listed, just sold. Mm-hmm. The centers of influence and sphere, it's sphere, so we can use that also.
Past clients, past buyers, they all turn to selling at some point.
Yeah. where past clients refer you, but not necessarily a referral fee associated with that. Yeah. So all of those are ways to do it. There's really not a lot more. I mean, there's other things. I mean, there's people out there. I've never done this, but there's people out there that are doing like getting list of divorce people that are in divorces, going through a divorce, and they call them, or 90-day lates, 30-day lates, people missing payments. They call these lists. So again, it's all a form of lead generation, outbound calls. There's another way though, and I know you and I do it. Is by really working our database. I think you were talking about working your database. What are some thoughts on the database and how you can generate leads without referral fees from that source?
Yeah. So to me, the database is the pot that you're going to put everything in, right? So regardless of, we talked about expireds, old expired, all of that, no matter who you talk to, anybody you come across that owns a property, you should get them into your database. Right.
Yeah.
So over time, this database is growing. But what you're going to realize is, I forgot what the number was. I think somewhere between 5 to 7% of every property owner in the country is going to sell this year.
Mm.
Right. So the bigger your database, the bigger pool of potential sellers you're going to have. So the whole idea is like, okay, let me start with, I've got to be in control of my lead flow. I'm going to start building this database of people that I've spoken to that I'm going to keep nurturing and send them valuable information so they can remember me. And then no matter who you talk to, expired, FISBOs, circle prospecting, door knocking, get their information and get them into this database, and then just really, really work that database.
Yes. Nurture them.
Nurture. That's got to be a big part of the plan. And it can't be, look, I'm going to keep checking in to see if they want to sell. Like, you've got to give them valuable information so you stand out amongst the crowd of other agents in your market, that you're the resource to go to.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of give a little bit of a quick little blueprint. For those of you that are listening, you may want to take some notes here. It's not going to be difficult. It's going to be simple, but it's going to be a blueprint, kind of like a step-by-step process to build a database and dominate it. I call this community domination. It could also be database domination. And Abe, I'm been thinking about database, right? Building a database. And I'm going to, actually have a webinar sometime in the near future about building a database. That's no longer what we should be doing. We need to exchange the word database to audience, building an audience. Mm-hmm. So I've been thinking, like, my daughters, they love Taylor Swift. And, I had to buy multiple Taylor Swift concert tickets, even though I only went to one. But, I was really impressed with Taylor Swift. And I was impressed at how she has an audience of advocates. She fills a whole stadium all over the world. She's doing this. And everyone that goes in there is sitting in their seat, on the edge of their seat, hanging on every word she utters. That's her audience. It's not her database. It's her audience. So database would be like a collection of a lot of people, but an audience is like, okay, taking those people and creating so much value that they become advocates for you. I want us to be thinking like that. So a simple little blueprint. Look, think of communities. Think of 5 communities in your neighborhood, or in your 5 neighborhoods in your market that you would like to start getting more business. You could go to, I think you'll put it up, ExactDial. Go to exactdial.com. This is a data append service. Go there, import or upload a CSV file of all the owners in each one of those neighborhoods, and append all their contact information, most importantly, the email address. Now, all of a sudden, you've got the email addresses for all the owners of that particular neighborhood, and you do that 5 times. Maybe that's a total of 1,000 people. Now, take that, put it in your CRM. I'm not telling you to go and like call them all, put them in dialers, none of that. I'm saying put them in your CRM. Okay. Then create one email a month. Just create one email a month, which is your market update, like Myrtle Beach real estate update, October or November 2025, whatever date it is. Now, if you're thinking, I don't know what to say, then okay, We can take the easy way. Just go prompt ChatGPT and just say, create a newsletter for me that includes the real estate market data for the month of October 2025. Put it in an email format and give me a few pros and cons as to why somebody might want to buy or sell in today's market. You can just do that, and you can date it for that particular month. It'll spit out the data right there, and it'll be in a nice email. Now, if you want to go one step further, you could take that and go and say, ask AI one more question and say, could you take this information and create a little outline or a script for me to do a 3-minute YouTube video? And it'll create the script. And then you record that on a YouTube video, you insert that video into a newsletter, you send that newsletter out, you do that once a month, and you do that consistently. And now all of a sudden, you're going to get people calling you over time. So you work those traditional means like the expires, the FSBOs, just listed, just sold, all those things that Abe talked about, we talked about at the beginning. But you also work on a system where eventually you build an audience that hangs on to every word you say, because you're now a resource, which means now you're an authority in their eyes. And when they think about doing something, they reach out to you. It's like going from having to chase all the time to being chased sometimes. And none of that comes with referral fees. Any other thoughts to add to that?
Yeah, I love that. I love the whole idea of taking a database, of course, which is it would get big, and actually seeing how many people you could take out of that and then turn into an audience for you. You know, Mike Ferry used to say, how many appointments you need to get a listing? One. How many leads do you need to get a listing? Just one. Right.
That's
so
right.
yeah, your database might be 10,000 people. You don't need 10,000 people to do a great business. Okay. No. But if you can get 100, 300, 500 people that actually follow you and listen to you and treat you as a source for real estate, you've got all the business in the world at that point.
Yeah, there's just no doubt about it. And this is like, the cost is so insignificant. As a matter of fact, you know, paying a referral fee to something like a home light, and the cost of that compared to like going to ExactDial and getting the data and doing this on your own from your own CRM. I mean, we're talking, it's so inexpensive to do this in such a high return. But the magic, everybody, is consistency. You have to do this every single month for 12 months straight. Now, to me, that's only 12 newsletters. That's not that big of a deal. It's 12 videos. That's very easy to create. But the importance is it gives you a massive return. And I can say this with all truth. And this is probably why I thought of an audience. I took one listing already in the last week. I've got another one that I just got an appointment today. I actually have gotten 5 in the last week, in the last 7 days, 5 leads from my newsletter. Mm-hmm. I've already taken a listing. That person emailed me and said, Greg, if you're ever wondering if your email updates work, they do. I need to sell my property. Could you give me a call? I already listed it.
Yeah.
The second one was a text I got this morning around 9:00. And it says, I sent you an email. It must have went to your spam. Can you check your spam? I want to sell my duplex in Murrells Inlet, and I have a feeling you didn't get my email. Please give me a call. I checked my spam. I'd be darned, it was in spam 5 days ago. Now, that person took the time. She waited 5 days. I didn't respond to her email. She texted me, assuming that it had to go to spam. There's no way I wouldn't have called her. Text me, call her, set an appointment. That's the difference in having a database and building an audience. That's called being chased.
Yeah.
And that's what Abe and I wanted to help you do. Now, if you all are wanting to take a lot more listings and you would like to figure out how to get more come list me calls, as well as get better at converting any other listing methods, then you need to check out Agent Success Academy. Just go to Agent Success Academy, check us out, and consider joining us. We would love to coach you. We coach on all these things around getting listings, and the people that are in our program in those live calls, they're taking lots of listings, anywhere from 5 a month all the way up to 15 to 20 a month. And they do it month after month. So please join us. Abe, I think that's a wrap for today. Anything else?
I did want to add one last thing for these referral companies. When you think about the 30, 35, 40% even that you pay for the referral fee, it's a high cost. But another cost that people don't think about is the inconsistency of their lead flow. So there might be 1 month where you get 2 or 3, then you might go a month or 2 months with nothing. So that's another reason why I think is an important reason to look, you've got to get control of your own lead flow. Be the one that determines how many leads you're going to generate every single day.
Yeah. And to add on top of that, what if the person who's in charge of the lead flow decides to send it to somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on with Zillow right now.
Right.
Zillow is canceling out all these flex, teams and diverting them to new flex teams. And for some of these teams who 80% of their business were Zillow leads, it's devastating to them right now. Realtor.com had a version of that years ago where they started canceling accounts and it put people in a bind. So we need to take back control of our lead flow. We need to own our lead flow so no one owns your business.
Right.
All right, Abe. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.